I would like to welcome all of you into the class of chemistry. In last couple of lectures, we will going to see our first chapters, chemical bonding. In this chemical bonding, before this lecture, we will going to see valency and its types, electronic theory of valency, types of compounds, independent compounds, electrovalent compounds, their examples, characteristics. Later on that we are going to start the second type, covalent compound. In the covalent compound we are going to see the definition, examples, and how the single covalent bond is formed. Now from this lecture we will going to see how the double covalent bond is formed. Before going to start, we know that some basic knowledge, like at first single covalent bond is formed by due to the sharing of one pair of electrons. Second one is double covalent bond is formed by sharing of two pairs of electrons, and triple covalent bond is formed by sharing of three pairs of electrons. And we are going to clear the concept. One pair is nothing but two electrons. One pair is nothing but two electrons. In our previous lecture, we are going to see how the single covalent bond is formed. Now we are going to see how the double covalent bond is formed. Double covalent bond. And the best example of double covalent bond is O2 molecule. O2 molecule. Now we know that O2 molecule is nothing but it is a combination of two oxygen atoms. O2 molecule is nothing but it is a combination of two oxygen atoms. Now we know that the oxygen represented in the form of symbol like O, its atomic number is 8 and its electronic configuration is 2 and 6. It means that in outermost orbit of oxygen atom there will be a presence of 6 electrons. It means that it can be required another 2 electrons to complete its octet. But here is a double molecule, double atom, because here is molecule, another oxygen, again atom number 8, 2 and 6 is the electronic configuration. Now what happened? This single oxygen will take 2 electrons from another oxygen atom and it can complete its octet, and this electron configuration will be changed as a 2 and 8. And in second case, this oxygen atom loses its 2 electron and second oxygen gain its 2 electron to form electronic configuration 2 and 8, and finally its octet will be completed. We will going to represent in the form of diagram, then we will going to understand well. At first, we know that the covalent compound is formed by due to the sharing of electrons. If in sharing 2 electrons is present, then formation of single covalent bond. In sharing 4 electrons and in sharing 6 electrons, if 4, double covalent bond, and if 6, then triple covalent bond is formed. So in the example of oxygen molecule, O2 molecule, we will going to understand how many pairs of electrons will be present. Here I am going to represent oxygen atom. This is nothing but first oxygen atom, and this is nothing but second oxygen atom. In this oxygen, in outermost orbit, 6 electrons will be present. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Here also same 6 electrons will be present. During the formation of oxygen molecule, what happened? In outermost orbit of first atom, there will be presence of 6 electrons. Therefore, its octet is not completed. So, this first oxygen atom take 2 electrons from second oxygen atom, and it can be complete its octet. Now let me be going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Means octet of first atom will be completed. Same phenomena will take place in second atom. This oxygen atom take 2 electrons from first atom, and it can complete its octet. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It means that octet of second atom is also completed. It means that if we represent in clear form, then we will going to understand that here one oxygen, 2 electrons from first oxygen is in pairing, 2 electrons from second oxygen is in pairing, means that total 4 electrons are present in pairing, and if 4 electrons are present in pairing, then there will be formation of double covalent bond, and oxygen molecule we will going to represent, and oxygen molecule we will going to represent in double covalent bond like O double bond O. This double bond is nothing but here is presence of 4 electrons. Therefore, there will be a formation of double covalent bond. So this is the best example of double covalent bond. If in pairing there will be a presence of 6 electrons, then there will be a formation of triple covalent bond. We will going to see the examples of nitrogen molecule, and we will going to understand the concept. Third, N2 molecule. आता हे तुम्हाला सांगता येईल. First, N2 molecule is nothing but combination of N plus N. दोन N atoms combination म्हणजे N2 molecule. Second point, एका N atoms atomic number आहे 7, म्हणजे त्याचे इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कॉन्फिगरेशन 2 आणि 5. दुसऱ्या नायट्रोजन atoms N is equal to 0, 7, 2 and 5. If we look at the electronic configuration of nitrogen, then we will going to understand in outermost orbit there will be presence of only 5 electrons. If complete octet will require 8 electrons, but here is a less another 3 electrons, and these 3 electrons reduced from the second nitrogen atoms, and it will complete its octet. We will going to understand by using diagram. हे सुद्धा आपल्याला डायग्रामच्या माध्यमातून पाहता येईल. पहिल्यांदा मी रिप्रेझेंट करतोय पहिला ऑक्सिजन नायट्रोजन ॲटम, त्याच्यामध्ये 5 इलेक्ट्रॉन आउटरमोस्ट ऑर्बिटला आहे. हा नायट्रोजन नंबर 2, त्याचे 5 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स. दिस इज नथिंग बट first nitrogen, this is nothing but second nitrogen, and during the chemical combination outermost orbit contain 8 electrons must be complete to complete its octet. Here is presence of 5 total elements and 3 electrons from these nitrogen will take place in combination, and therefore the octet of nitrogen atom will be complete. Same phenomena will take place in second atom. Here these 3 electrons will be combined into the second atom and octet of second atom will be complete. It means that if we rough the surrounding part, then we will going to understand that here total 6 electrons present. 1, 2 and 3 pairs of electrons will be present. 3 pairs is nothing but 6 electrons, and 6 electrons we are going to form triple covalent bond. If you represent nitrogen molecule, then N triple bond N, this is the formation of triple covalent bond. So these are the different types of examples of how the single, double and triple covalent bonds are formed. Now the last point is the characteristics of covalent compound. The concept is nothing but characteristics of covalent compound. The first characteristics is covalent compounds are non-polar, means that in these compounds charge will not form. Second one is in these compounds no solubility concept. It means that they are not soluble in polar solvent. Not soluble in polar solvent. Covalent compounds are volatile in nature. म्हणजे ज्यावेळेस आपण निसर्गामध्ये हे कंपाऊंड सोडतोय त्यावेळेस volatile असतात, ते उडून जाण्याची शक्यता असते. The melting point is very important property of any compound, and in this covalent compound the melting point represent very lower amount, low MP and BP, melting point and boiling point. And these compounds are present in liquid state and in gas state at RT means room temperature. तर अशा पद्धतीने आपण त्याच्या वेगवेगळ्या कॅरेक्टरिस्टिक्स पाहिलेले. तर याच पद्धतीने आपण इलेक्ट्रोव्हॅलेंट कंपाऊंड पूर्ण केलेले आहे, त्यानंतर कोव्हॅलेंट कंपाऊंड पूर्ण केलेले आहे. कोव्हॅलेंट कंपाऊंड कसा फॉर्म होतो, सिंगल कोव्हॅलेंट बॉन्ड म्हणजे काय, डबल कोव्हॅलेंट बॉन्ड म्हणजे काय, ट्रिपल कोव्हॅलेंट बॉन्ड म्हणजे काय, आणि त्यानंतर त्याच्या प्रॉपर्टीज किंवा कॅरेक्टरिस्टिक्स कोणत्या हे पाहिले. आजच्या लेक्चरला आपण इथंच थांबूया आणि पुढच्या लेक्चरला पाहूया कोऑर्डिनेट कंपाऊंड कसा फॉर्म होतात. तोपर्यंत इथंच थांबूया. हे संपूर्ण लेक्चर तुम्ही ऐकलं त्याबद्दल तुम्हा सर्वांना माझ्याकडून थँक्यू.